Hi there, it's Chip Barkel with the eXp Realty in Toronto, and I also I'm a local leader for the parkbench.com/Willowdale neighborhood website. And I'm here today to have a conversation with John Bocti of Kinnected Chain. I'll let you explain a little bit of what you do. So howdy, John, how are you?
Hey, good afternoon, Chip, and good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for having me on. This is exciting. Doing these talks are a lot of fun for me, and I'm excited to share about what I do, my brand, and kinesiology as a whole. So, like Chip mentioned, I am John Bocti. I'm the owner and operator of Kinnected Chain. We are a health rehab and performance company, and I operate as a kinesiologist, but we're also a multidisciplinary practice. So what we do is I personally am able to, my goal is to help to improve mobility and physical independence for anyone and everyone, specifically with those over the age of 65, really keeping you in your homes for as long as we possibly can and as independent as we can. With that being said, we offer a lot of different services within the health sciences field, anything from massage therapists, physiotherapists, personal trainers, strengthening and conditioning coaches, as well as athletic therapists as well. So my goal really with Kinnected Chain is to help to revolutionize the health sciences network and what you would normally get from walking into a doctor's office or physiotherapy clinic or therapy clinic, and make it a lot more about you as a person, what your goals are. And that's just the gist of it. I mean, I could talk about this for days, but that's really what we are as Kinnected Chain. And I'm fortunate enough to really be fortunate and happy enough to work with a lot of the older adult population, those who are extremely healthy and those with multiple comorbidities who are looking to improve their quality of life. And I'm here to really help people do that. So it's exciting for me to have the ability to do that. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So just so that I understand you correctly, it's really an umbrella. You cover everything from physio to massage to personal training, all of those services?
Yes. So, Chip and the people watching, I started off as a personal trainer in 2007. I've been a member of the health sciences field since 2007. I became a regulated kinesiologist in 2015. And Kinnected Chain as a whole is what I wanted to do is, yes, like you said, create an umbrella where I'd be a one-stop shop for exceptional health sciences services for those who need it the most. Regardless of what your condition is or what your goal is, I want to be able to help you in some way or another, whether it be your body composition to falls prevention to movement disorders, things like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's. I'll get into a little bit more of my background with chronic conditions, but that's really what I wanted Kinnected Chain to be, is be a comfortable spot and haven to be able to provide things that people know they need, but also in such a way that they're not quite sure yet. And that's exciting for me to share with everyone. I mean, it's that's really one of my main goals is to really apply a technique and service that will help to benefit people in a lot of different ways. So I'm excited to do that.
That's great. That's great. So can you explain exactly what kinesiology is and why it's important in your business?
Yeah. So kinesiology has been around for quite a while. It became a regulated health profession in about 2013 in Ontario, and we're part of the Healthcare Act of Ontario, which is exciting. So I've been deemed an essential service, and especially through COVID times, I think it's a great opportunity to be able to provide a service that people can really benefit from. So kinesiology as itself, by its scope of practice, has helped to maintain human movement as well as rehabilitate injury and performance. So that's just essentially the gist of what we do. It's a very broad and general scope, but it can be applied and provided to a lot of different people. And that end goal can be very specific to each individual person, regardless of who I work with. I've learned very early on from my career that each individual person is going to have their own goals, their own limitations and things like that. And so with this regulation and with my certification, I'm able to provide that with my knowledge and experiences. So I'm excited to do that. but on top of that, find a network of people that also think the same way so that we can all work together to improve anybody who reaches out to us. And I'm excited to kind of talk on that a little bit more.
That's great. That's great. What really got my attention with COVID was the fact that you do in-home services. And, initially it was physio. One of your clients is a relative of one of my clients. And I heard through the grapevine, it's like, oh, this guy John Bocti is going in the house. And I was like, now with COVID, that's a huge deal because people don't want to have to go somewhere where, there are going to be people in the waiting room and, even if you get there. So can you speak to that in terms of COVID and that in-home service?
You know what? COVID has been crazy for a lot of different reasons. It somewhat came out of nowhere. We were as prepared as we could be for a pandemic. The last one happened 100 plus years ago. And when it comes to in-home treatment, I genuinely believe as though there's not a limitation that's too great for people to live as independently physically as they can. I'm not here to change the wheel or promise to turn you into an athlete or a marathon runner, anything like that. So when it comes to being able to access people in their homes, we're all doing our part, which is important. I think it's the right thing to do in the times that we are in. But use the resources that are available to us. And again, I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. In-home services is something I've always been able to provide. So for me, once COVID hit, it wasn't too much of an adjustment. It was a slight adjustment in terms of PPE and things like that, and following proper regulation. But there are limitations in terms of accessibility to get to my clinic here in Markham, or getting to a gym or anything like that. And I like to believe that for the most part, people like to live in their homes as independently as possible. And when the time comes, finding a long-term care facility where you can get extended coverage and extended help. So what I do in home is essentially, I bring the clinic to you. I bring the gym to you. We work within what your abilities are. I bring the necessary equipment and products to be able to work within your limitations to help you to reach your goals. So for example, I do a lot of falls prevention. I work with people who are right out of surgery. So some things that I've worked with usually is knee replacements, hip replacements, shoulder replacements, general injuries. But also for those who just feel more comfortable in their homes, I can bring everything to you and we can work within what you have available to you to help to improve your physical abilities and help you reach your goals. So that's the exciting part for me. Nothing excites me more than finding what works for the person that I'm working with and helping them to realize their abilities and understand that they have the potential to do what they need to do. I'm just essentially a tool and a motivating factor that will help them do that. I have my knowledge base. I have my 7 years of education in the post-secondary system, but it's that partnership and the relationship that I build with that person that not only helps them to develop further, but again, helps them to understand their capacity and what they're able to do, and think about it more from that physical perspective, which is exciting for me, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. I work with a lot of seniors myself, and a big part of aging in place is being able to access the services in their own home. I remember doing an article saying 100%. Around aging, and the first thing is maybe you just stay where you are and bring services in, people like you. So that's what got my attention. Like, that's really great. Even only buys you a few years. If you go somewhere else in the neighborhood that's more long-term. And it's that been your experience that through the services you provide, people can stay in their home longer?
Yeah. Yes. You know what? I've been fortunate that the people who trust me enough to reach out and commit to what we're doing, and I understand that it is relatively new and it's not something that people really commit to. Exercise has been around for a long time. What I apply is not only exercise but combining that with rehabilitation and functional movement.
Right.
So we want to maintain your ability to do the things that you do on a regular basis. And from that, build upon that. So to answer that question, yes, I do believe people have benefited from what I do with them. They apply it on their own, not only with me. They get excited about it. They apply it more and more. It becomes a lifestyle. And the ability to understand it as a lifestyle is what's exciting to me. It's like, hey, look, let's create that spark in your mind that if I can educate you enough to help you understand that even if it's as simple as picking something up from the floor or reaching up for something on the cabinet, or when you're in bed, when you wake up, you do those few extra stretches. I can't be there with you every day, but if I can help to motivate you and I can, at least be that annoying voice in your head that can help you to do these things, it's exciting for me. And that's why I created Kinnected Chain and the people that I kind of work alongside and work with. It's exciting. So I genuinely do believe that it could be something as simple as let's sit and stand up from a chair often. That can lead to so much, and whatever your limitations are from a movement perspective, or if you have multiple comorbidities or conditions diagnosed from a doctor, that does not dictate how the quality of life that you have will be moving forward. I genuinely feel as though it doesn't have to be you retire, you do some stuff for a bit, and then you move into a home. Yeah, you can retire, and then at some point down the road, maybe you say, hey, look, you know what? I want people to come bring me my necessities and things like that. But, I've been fortunate enough to be able to be exposed to that from early on. And it's not something that I want for myself. And it's something that I really want to teach to people who seek me out. And I'm a young guy, and I'm fortunate enough to understand that the people who have paved the way for me to do what I do didn't have the chance to think about maintaining their quality of life from a physical perspective. And that's something that I take seriously in terms of, hey, look, like I've been in a position that I can pursue schooling, and there's a whole basis of knowledge that I've learned that can help you to improve your quality of life. So that's really what I hope to do with people. So, I mean, I work with anyone and everyone from the ages of, my youngest client is 6 years old. My oldest client is 95, who was a veteran who stormed Normandy on D-Day. It's unbelievable, the people that I work with. And I have so much respect for anyone from the 6-year-old to the 95-year-old who want to either develop their skills as an athlete or develop their skills as an athlete from a different perspective, as an athlete of living in your home and being independent. I truly have the best job in the world, Chip, and you may argue me on that. I'm sure you have the best job in the world as well, but it's great. I mean, they say you'll never work a day in your life if you love what you do. So I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate in that case. Yeah.
I really like your passion, and I can tell that your clients are probably very lucky to have you on their side, because you're excited about what you're doing, you're passionate, and I think that's has to be contagious. But I know what you mean in terms of the 95-year-old. I have quite a few older friends, and I was visiting one, and this was a few years ago, and she said, it was like maybe 12:30, and she said, I'm going to invite Jane across the hall for dinner. Jane is 95, and so it was 12:30. I went down to where I was staying, and I passed Jane going out to her car, and in the parking lot. And so from 12:30 to 5 o'clock, she shows up with a pumpkin pie. And I thought, okay, you weren't invited until 12:30. I said, Jane, where did you make this pie? She said, well, remember you saw me going out to the parking lot? I went to make a pie, and I realized I didn't have any pumpkins. I had to run to the supermarket. I thought, geez, like she's 95, like I'm, I'm half her age. And I would say, oh, too bad I don't have pumpkin. I might have made a pie, So it's a lot of it is mindset. So if you can keep active and have that passion that I see in you, then that will really last you a long way.
You nailed it on the head, Chip.
Yeah. But I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, you nailed it on the head. I mean, it's the ability to think that way. that I think is important for a lot of people, and not everybody can think that way. And I can only do so much in terms of what I can provide someone in terms of the services and my knowledge base, because, I'll be the first to admit that I don't know it all. And that's exciting for me because I know that continuing education is going to be very important for me to move forward in my development. And I think that applies to everyone in what we do. And from a physical perspective, and, that lifestyle, again, just to touch back on that point, the lifestyle of how do you want to live? How do you want to live the last 10 to 20 years of your life? As crazy as that is to say, it's, I think it's important sometimes to think about it and have a conversation about that. So, I mean, I would love to be 95 and driving out to go grab some pumpkins. I'm not a baker. I love to cook more than bake, but if I can go pick up some pancetta or whatever it is, right? Like I want to be doing that. I love outdoors. I love hiking. So, I try to share that, just that knowledge to everyone who puts that trust in me. And it's extremely humbling, to be honest with you, Chip. It's great. So yeah, sorry, you were going to ask a question. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. One last question. What is your goal or your vision for Kinnected Chain going forward?
It's always changing. It's always changing for sure. When I got into it, it was as crazy as it sounds. I really want to revolutionize health sciences in Canada. I want to change how older adults see their quality of life. I want to change the way how people think about movement and physical independence and rehabilitation and pain and their abilities. Kinnected Chain, I would love for it to be something that can, again, touch a lot of people in a lot of different ways, specifically to what it is they're looking for. I think everyone is going to have their own independent goal. And I think from my personal perspective, as great as the healthcare system is in Canada, it's unbelievable. I wouldn't trade being a Canadian citizen for anything. But we can always improve. We can always improve. And I truly believe that we can. And I want Kinnected Chain to be that. I want people to understand that we can get better. We deserve better. And I want Kinnected Chain to be a service that older adults can be proud that they're getting, because they know that it's a return on investment physically or physiologically or mentally. It's the younger athlete who's investing in their abilities down the road. It's the health professional that is looking for a space to grow their own because they know that they can provide something to someone. We're a health rehab and performance clinic, and that is so broad, but in each individual way, it's very specific. So I do genuinely believe that what I'm trying to grow is something special with the right people to benefit those who really want it bad enough. And if you don't want it bad enough, I would love to inspire and try to encourage you to seek out your physical independence one way or another, whether it's, maintaining mobility, enhancing performance, preventing falls, even if you're diagnosed with a condition, how can we help you to live an enhanced quality of life? And it's exciting for me to know that I can provide that for people. And it's whether it's preventative rehab kind of before the surgery as well as after, whether it's 20 years before that or 20 years after, it's exciting. I've been in the health sciences field since 2007. I've done everything from a college diploma to undergrad degree to the master's, and I believe in the health sciences field. I believe that it can benefit anyone and everyone, regardless of the limitations. So there's no limitation strong enough that I believe we can't address and help you to fight through it. So it's Kinnected Chain will hopefully be limitless. you know, it's exciting for me. So yeah.
That's a great vision and a great place to end it. I want to thank you for your time today. I've been chatting with John Bocti of Kinnected Chain, and he has a health rehab and physio clinic that he actually can bring to into your home. So I think that's a real bonus. So I'm Chip Barkel, your Willowdale EXP realtor and parkbench.com local leader. So thank you, John.
Hey, thank you for having me on, Chip. And thank you everyone for watching, and reach out anytime for any questions, and I hope to see you all soon. Thank you again, Chip. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Thanks.